Okay, so the result of this filter, I think, is simple, okay, but later maybe you need to deal with some kind of string. Okay, you can use that one. Next is about the inheritance. What does it mean by the inheritance in Django? So this inheritance is the most powerful and thus the most complex parts of Django template engine. Okay. And this inheritance allow you to build a base skeleton template that contains all the common elements of your site and define blocks that child templates can operate. Okay. Let's see with examples again. So there are two concepts that we will learn in this inheritance. At least there are two main basic template inheritance. The first is include and the other is extends. Include means we want to load a template and render it with the current context. This is a way of including other templates within template. And the template name can either be a variable or a hard-coded string in either single or double quotes. Extend tag is the key here. It tells the template engine that this template extends another template. So when the template system evaluates this template, first it locates the parent. Okay, so we will learn these two, include and extend. Now, for this problem, I would like to make a new folder. I would like to make a new folder block under the folder templates. And then let's create two HTML files, nav means navigation.html and datetime.html. Okay. I will make a new folder. You can click new and then directory. And then let's make a new folder block. Yeah, this is just a name. You can change later. So I will make a new directory block here. And then let's create two HTML files. The first HTML file is nav.html and the other HTML file is date.html. Datetime.html. So first I will create nav.html. Oops. I create Python file. Okay, I create the HTML file nav.html. Okay, I copy and paste this code. Okay, and then datetime.html. I copy this one. And then I make HTML file datetime.html. Okay, after I have this HTML file, now I would like to update the views.py. I will create a new function today is. Oh, okay, now I know the problem. This is supposed to be first. So now we have a new variable which is now to indicate the date time. Actually, if you don't have this now, it will automatically get the now function. So I'm going to check the current time and I will put it into the variable now, and I will put this into the datetime.html. Now you can see that I'm going to access the datetime.html in the directory block. So it means you can have multiple directories, not only in the templates, but you can put it in different directories. And you can access the HTML file with this way, blog/datetime.html. Okay, and let's see. I'm going to make a kind of head for this link. So I will update the urls.py. So I'm going to link this to today, and I'm going to run the function today is, and the name of this link is today's. Okay. Okay, let me check what happened. I will update the link today. Now you can check in the upper section. You can see home, blog, contact, carrier. So in the datetime.html, where is the home, blog, contact, and carrier? Nothing. Okay. Here you can see that include blog/nav.html. So this include means for this HTML file, in this upper section, please use the nav.html. What is the nav.html? It is the navigation. We have the link to home, we have the link to blog, we have the link to contact, and we have the link to carrier. And this is nav is the navigation. It means when we use the include, we can define the HTML file. In this case, the nav.html is in the folder blog, and I'm going to include it as the top of this HTML. And after this one, I can run other functions. In this case, yeah, I'm going to run the current date time now and the current scheme. The current scheme is, yeah, we want to know what is the link. In this case, is the HTTP. Okay, so this is include. So I have one HTML, and then I want to include other HTML. Now let's see another example with extend. In this example, we are going to see the template setting use the base directory. Okay. The base HTML, there will be two HTML files. Okay. One of the HTML file will use extend for the inheritance of particular text into the other file. So I will use the folder block2 under the folder templates, and then I will create three HTML files: base, home, and blog. So let me create another folder block2, and then I will create three HTML files: base, home, and block. So you will see there are three files, three HTML files, base, block, and home. Base, home, and block. Okay. Now I will update first the HTML file. You can go to base.html and you can copy and paste this code. Base.html you can delete and update with the code that I gave to you. And then the second one is home.html. You can copy the code and then you can update the HTML file. And then the last one is block.html. You can copy and then put the code that I gave in your PowerPoint. So there are three files, okay, base.html, home.html, and then block.html. In the views.py, let's make another function. Okay, in this function, I would like to do something. In the view.py, let's make a new function. In this function, it will access the settings, and then it will check the current time, and then again we will check what is the HTML file for this one. So it will go to home. Okay. And there will be two variables, now and this directory. And after that, we need to update the, okay. We have another function which is block. So I will make this function block as well. So this function block, it will connect to the block.html. The first one is home, it will connect to the home.html. We have one variable writer, which is my name. And then after we have the home, after we have the block, now we will add the link. Okay. So there are two links, the two additional links, which is home and block. So you can update the urls.py. So in this case, I'm going to make a new link, and if the link is home, I will execute the home function. If the link is block, I will execute the block function. Okay. Now let's run. I have polls, and then now I'm going to run the home. Now, if I click block, it will change. If I click contact, nothing changes. If I click career, nothing changes because I only have two, which is home and block. Okay. So what does it mean by this code? First, I will go to base. In the base, it defines the title. We have the block title. So for now, I'm just using this title. The grid Django block is simple. And yeah, you can define anything as long as you have this block. So I will explain about this block. So this is the title in the head section, and now we can go to the body. In the body section, I will make a kind of skeleton. The first part is the navigation bar. The navigation bar means something that you can see in the upper part. Usually we call it navigation. And in the navigation, we have four, which is home, block, contact, and carrier. In this case, if you see the shop, it will not go to anywhere. So nothing. But what is the meaning by this? If you access home, you will go to the URL home. If you click block, then you will go to the URL block. So what does it mean by this home and block? This is the name that you define in the URLs. So if you click control, okay, then you will go to this name. Okay. So if you specify the name correctly, then you can just call the URL with the name. Okay. So for example, I change this name to home set, for example. Then in the base, you need to change this one to also home set. So the name should be the same with the URLs. Okay. So if it is not the same, then yeah, it cannot define where is this link. So there will be errors. Okay, because we cannot find the home. So that's why this name is important. And yeah, if you specify the name with the URL, of course, you need to define this name. In the previous example, I do not use any name. So that's why there is no error. So the navigation bar means the top. And then I'm going to define the content. So the first is the navigation, and the next is the content. And then after the content, I would like to make HR. Do you still remember what is HR? HR. It is a line, horizontal line. Okay. And then at the end, I want to define footer. And this is also a block. When I have the block content, it is empty. Why it is empty? Because this will be the content in the other HTML file. So this is the file for the bits.html. Now let's take a look on the home.html. In the home.html, at the first time, I would like to put the code extend. It means this will follow the base.html. This is the folder name, block2 base.html. And what you can see here is the block content. The block content in the base HTML, it will be this one. So it will show you this information. Now, if you go to the block.html, in the block.html, you can also see the same. First, it will extend block2.base.html. And what is the content? The content will be this one. That's why you can see when you are in the home, when you click home, this is the result. When you click block, so the navigation bar will be still the same, but the difference is only the content. Okay. And the footer is also the same because it is in the base. Now, can you modify the footer? Of course, you can. You can create a new HTML file. For example, I want to define a footer HTML. So if you have this footer, first I will extend. I will extend this one. I will put in the footer, and I will change this footer. So this footer content title is already set up by the Django. So they have only several block types. The block types is the basic block type is title, content, and footer. So footer it will be always below. Content it will be always in the middle. And then the title it will be always on the top. Okay. So if you have the footer, so it will not apply in this stage because it is a separator. It belongs to this footer, and you need to specify this one first in the URLs. Okay. What is the footer? You need to specify the footer, and then again it will connect to the footer. Okay, because there is no footer here. Okay, maybe I will not put more details this one. Okay? But if you want to make the footer, you can specify with this one. Yeah, so this is the explanation for every of this section. You can have the URL home. It means it will go to the reference with the path name home. So you can specify the name in the URL. And then for now, the main block is title, content, and footer. So that's why if you go, for example, in our university, so the top it will always the same. So we call this is the navigation. The below part it will be always the same because this is the footer. But the content can be different. Okay. So the home.html content extend which will use the HTML for the given info which is from the base. And meanwhile, the content of home will contain all statements in the block content. So the block content will be in the base.html. So the request scheme is just to give the scheme, in this case is the HTTP. And then we have the block.html. Yeah, in this case, we are going to write the writer name, because we have the file views.py and the writer variable is my name. Then you can see my name. Okay. So that's the include and extend for the simple example. The other thing that we can learn from this template is about the cascading style sheet or CSS. So the web framework provides a style template so everybody can use immediately. Style is related to the CSS or cascade styling sheet. And the basic CSS is related to the body tag. So when you design, it will be only in the body. You cannot design in the header. So let's see one example. Okay. I will make a new function in the views.py. Okay, you can see here. This is the view.py. I will make a new function index2. And then I will make a new link index2 in the urls.py. So I'm going to check the table CSS with the name index2. And then I will do the table css.html in the folder templates. So I will just use the templates here. I will make HTML file table CSS. And then I will just update. Okay, when you look into this result, table CSS. So it is the combination of HTML and CSS. This is the style sheet to make your HTML file a fancy page. So how the CSS works? So the CSS work. Now I'm just using the very static form of the JavaScript. We will learn more about JavaScript later. So in this case, in the header part, I will explore more about the style. Here, I can specify title. Okay, I can specify the style. The style means, yeah, you can define anything. For example, in the body, I would like to make the background color with this. Okay, so you can see this background color will be about black. And then the eighth one, which is the header one, I'm going to set up the color and I'm going to set up the font size. I'm going to set up the font family like this one. So actually, yeah, there are so many attributes here. So this is just an example. And then if I want to define the P or the paragraph, yeah, I want to define the color as white and the font family is this one. So this is the style part. So whenever you use the body, the background color will automatically change to this. And if you use H1, it will use this one. And if you use P, then it will use this one. So you can define if you use div, or if you use span, or if you use any attributes. So that's why it's too complex to understand the CSS thoroughly. So this is just an example. So the H1 is the hello world example. It will follow the H1 style. What is this H1 style? This one. The hello world example, the color is C something something. So you can see the color here. And then the font size is 30. And then this is the font family. P is the paragraph. It will follow the format from this one. The color is white. Okay, the color is white. So I have table. And then I have the border one. And I specify the first row is the header. And then I just make a for loop. So what is this for loop? This is going to access the variable cities. Okay. What is the variable cities? You can take a look on the views.py. So this is a list, and in this list there are some data, and this data is in the format of dictionary. Okay, one dictionary, dictionary 2, dictionary 3, dictionary 4, dictionary 5. And I want to put those data into a table in the HTML. This will be the key or the header name. This is also will be the header name. This will be also the header name. Then I'm going to do this with the city name, population, country. So this is the header name. And I'm going to access for every data in the dictionary. The first data will be the city dot name. So I'm going to access the value of the name in the first data. And for the second cell, I'm going to access the population of the first data. And I'm going to access the country of the first data. Then you can see the result like this one. Mumbai, 19,000, and the country is India. Calcutta, the country, and then India. This is how we can access the various data type, data structure type in the Python. So now how we can apply the bootstrap. So as you know, we already learned the introduction about bootstrap, and then how we can leverage the bootstrap into Django. So I'm going to explain how we can make a kind of contact.html. So I will make a new file, contact.html. So as you can see, the HTML file now becomes longer and longer. Okay. After you create the HTML file, let's create a new uh, function in the views.py. Okay. And then let's put a new path in the urls.py. So I'm going to connect with the contact in this case. Okay, after you have that one, you can run contact. So as you can see here, do you think it is good? Yeah, somehow it is okay, but it's too wide, right? Yeah. Yeah, you can see the very simple model with the bootstrap. It shows something like this one. So there are some things that you can do with the bootstrap. So this is just one example with the bootstrap. We can make a kind of container. What is the container? So I already give you the HTML file. You can access the HTML file and update in the section default form contact top. Okay, so I will copy these 3 lines. Okay, these 3 lines, I will copy these 3 lines, and then I will put it into the HTML file, the contact.html. So in the top, you can see there's a comment here. Default form contact top. Okay, before the form. So before the form, I would like to put container, and then for each of the row, I would like to make the column MD form. Okay. I have div. I have 3 div. Because I have 3 div, so you need to put, in the HTML, when we have the opening, we should have the closing. So I will make this closing, and you can find the default form contact bottom. So here you can see default form contact bottom. So you can put the free div here as the closing tag for div. Okay, so with this additional syntax, you can try to update. Now it is smaller. Okay. So if you make it small, okay, if you make it small into the proper format, then you can see that this is smaller, or yeah, maybe this is the most suitable with your frame in your website. So what does it mean by this? In the Bootstrap, actually they already set up the span. So the design in the Bootstrap, they make the span into 12 units. The span 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you set up with the number 12, so it means you want to set up with the single cell, single cell, single cell. So you can define how many frames you want to create. If you want to create 3 cells, okay, so you can expand with 3. If you want to create 4, then you can have like this 3, this tree, this tree, and this tree, and so on. So in this case, yeah, we call this is the grid classes. And for these grid classes, you can specify whether it is extra small, XS, small or medium or large. So once I define this one, is using the MD. MD means medium. So if we have 12 span, so it means we can make 3 column layout with the 4. So 4 for the first, 4 the second, 4 for the third. So the total will be 12. That's the meaning by the number. So you can set up with the bootstrap how many column layout that you want to use. So if you use like 3 like this one, first you can define 4 and 4 and 4. And like this one, you can define 4 and 8. If you define this one, 6 and 6. If you want to use all, then you will make the span as 1. Okay, I think I will stop here. I will continue with this next stage in the next class. Okay.